Hello there. Welcome to Lunch for the Soul. I'm Melissa Wilson with Fox 26 Houston. It's such a magical, fun time of year. And we want to make sure that it is for everybody, right? Everybody should have the chance to be able to do that. And I have a mom who's going to join us right now, as well as a very amazing therapist who is going to talk more about how they are making sure that everybody has an incredible Christmas. So, first of all, let's bring in Ciera. Hello there. Welcome to Lunch for the Soul.
Hi, good morning.
I'm so happy to see you. You have a precious 4-year-old who you have made sure that he has an unbelievable Christmas, including visits with Santa. And I love that. First of all, let's talk about Easton. So tell me what he was diagnosed with and then how he struggles sometimes around the Christmas holidays.
A couple years ago, he was diagnosed with cerebral palsy. Um, and we had a tough time finding therapy for him. We eventually did, and we found the absolute best one we could, at least for
Mhm.
us. Um, During the holidays is a bit harder, because we really come to realize how special he is, for the fact that we can't really take him out to go do like shopping, Christmas shopping, grocery shopping. Everything's a lot busier around this time. And it really, trying to find the right word, it really overstimulates him. And it's just harder for us to have a very peaceful, very
Yeah.
uneventful time out with during the holiday season.
Well, you don't want it to be overwhelming for him. And that's, it's supposed to be
Mhm.
a special time, but that means visits with Santa. When I picture going to sit in Santa's laps, maybe at a mall, I think about all the lines and the sounds and the screams, maybe the cries, maybe somebody's scared, or maybe someone's squealing because they're so excited. That can probably be overwhelming for him.
Very. It's hard to wait in lines. He gets either impatient or the noises around him overstimulate him, and he starts either like trying to hit himself or he will just scream on end. And we can't have that. We don't want that for him. It's
Mhm.
stressful for him, it's stressful for us. We know that it's stressful for the people around us that might not realize that he has a disability, and that it's just how he tries to communicate with us that he's overwhelmed with everything. So we tend to not do things like Santa or um, the Easter Bunny, any kind of pictures for any holidays, really.
Well, we always say, just like the saying goes, Santa knows if we're naughty or nice. He knows what's going on. And that's why I believe he chose you and your husband to help out the situation. In fact, I have a picture to show how. So talk to me about that and the difference you're able to make, not only for him, but for other children as well.
So we Santa chose us to dress up as him and his wife to be able to go visit the children that have sensory issues, things that they can't be in loud places or bright lights or a lot of people. So he chose us to go visit them for him, um, so that they know that they are just as special as all of the other kids, and that he wants them to know that they are just as wonderful.
Oh, I love that. And so you go to TIRR Memorial Hermann in the Woodlands, is that right?
We do. That is where our son goes. We offered to be their Santa and Mrs. Claus um, a couple of years ago.
Oh, that is just so incredible to be able to make a difference. And we just see here getting a gift. I mean, what a fun time of year to not have to be stressed out and for these kids just to enjoy it. What do you see? How do they react to it?
It's really great to see. Some of them are a little starstruck and like they don't know what to do, they don't know what to say. Some of them they immediately warm up to Santa just instantly. They absolutely adore him. this year had a lot of really special and sweet moments that just are on my heart.
Well, maybe you'll be able to tell those in just a moment. First, though, I want to bring in Caitlin Navarro, who happens to be very special to your heart. Speaking of, Easton's therapist there at TIRR Memorial Hermann. Welcome to Lunch for the Soul. And I understand you worked with Santa too to help make all of this happen.
I did. I have some special connections that kind of helped us get started a couple years ago.
What is it like for you to be able to see, I'm sure perhaps some of your patients, right, who wanted to see Santa and maybe couldn't without your help of being one of Santa's elves?
Yeah, we started this about 4 years ago, and the feedback that we've gotten from families over the last couple years just warms your heart. A lot of them have said that if it weren't for us doing this, they would have never gotten the opportunity to go see Santa. I think they were surprised in how well it went whenever they came to visit us and came to visit Santa and Mrs. Claus. Just saying that the time that they had was just the best, that extra window of time of 10 minutes just allowed their kid to warm up and allowed their kid to kind of slowly get introduced to Santa. And then, Mr. and Mrs. Claus would bring them bubbles, and that would help interact with them as well. And it's just very heartwarming from parents to say how much they enjoyed it.
Oh, I can't imagine what it means. And you were talking just a moment ago about some moments that are near and dear to your heart. It looks like that they also get a chance here to have a moment outside of Santa and Mrs. Claus as well. What happens here?
Yeah, we started that this year. It was our first year to give this a go, and I think it was super successful. We had some cookie decorating. We had coloring pages. We had hot chocolate or warm milk and chocolate and sprinkles. And a lot of the families really enjoyed it. It wasn't very crowded. We maybe had 1 or 2 families at a time in there, which made it a lot more peaceful and successful. So hopefully we'll continue to add that every year.
Oh, it's just so powerful to be able to experience this through you and to hear the stories. Let's talk more about being the caretaker in all of this, of seeing this. I just can't imagine how meaningful it must be.
Oh, for me?
Yeah.
I love it. I love this job. I've been a physical therapist for about 10 years now, and it's a very rewarding job. It has sad moments, but overall usually happy. And to me, getting to make a difference in the kids' lives and the families' lives is what I enjoy the most. And creating those experiences that every other typical family gets to have is important to me. And so that was the whole purpose of starting this and creating that environment for all of the families to get to participate in.
And how does Easton feel about it all, Mom?
He loves it.
Yeah.
This year he actually opened a present, and that was the first time he has ever opened any presents was with Santa.
Oh, wow.
So I was super excited and super happy. He absolutely loves Caitlin. That is his favorite, one of his favorite people in the entire universe. She's also one of our favorite people in the entire universe. Without her,
well, this is a powerful partnership.
I know, right?
Going on here. Oh, that's incredible to be able to hear. I tell you, you do magic. I've gotten to witness as a medical reporter at what you do at TIRR Memorial Hermann, but we know it's tough work that these kiddos are having to do, or adults, whoever it is, right? I mean, they have to work so hard, and you're pushing them. So I'm sure that it's nice to get to do something fun like this, where you can just relax and just see pure joy, right?
Yeah, all of our employees, it's their favorite time of year, and it's something that brings joy to all of us. And like I said, seeing the parents, I feel like the parents get so much joy out of it too. And they just truly love, they get to experience this moment. And that brings me so much happiness for all of us that get to see all the patients.
And then how does it work? Is this for Memorial Hermann patients only, or can anybody go?
It's just open to our current patients only. I'd like for it to grow bigger. We've thought about different ways of bringing back older patients that we've had, or adding more patients maybe within the hospital system. Hopefully next year, we're hoping to bring it to other TIRR locations. Right now, it's just here in the Woodlands, but we're looking into expanding at some of the other TIRR sites across the Houston area. So I hope to just continue to see it grow and get bigger and open it up to more families that would like to join.
Well, since you keep it so sensory friendly, though, I'm sure that's a bit of a challenge to expand it too much, right? Because then that takes away the whole idea of keeping it quiet and small, and that would certainly make sense. But moving forward, so are all of you going to still continue to be involved with it in the future?
Yeah, for sure. Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus has agreed to do it for as long as we continue to have it. So I'm pretty excited. They've been wonderful. They've been with us the last 2 years, and I couldn't imagine doing it again without them. So hopefully they can continue to help us out each year.
So you're all in, Mrs. Claus.
Yes.
Yes. Santa has given us the go-ahead to keep going as long as we can. Even if our son leaves therapy, we are absolutely going to keep doing this.
Well, and we know too, Ciera, as a mom who's had a child with many illnesses, it can be challenging, right? To not be able to just think about the holidays because you're dealing with doctor's visits and you're dealing with those thoughts of fear as a mom and just everything that goes with it. It can be really tough. I'm sure this helps you mentally as well, right? Just to be able to help others and not to think about medical problems for a moment.
Yeah, it does. It starts about in November. It helps us through November and into December because we do a toy drive at that time, and we run that through November. So it kind of gets our mind off of all of the doctor's visits or anything that we have to do for that kind of stuff, and puts us in the mood for Christmas time.
This time of year can be so incredibly hectic, I think, for families. And maybe they didn't get this Santa opportunity that was sensory friendly, especially you, Ciera. Do you have some other ideas that you've learned helps your own son during the busy holiday season?
Yeah, so we typically try to go to stores in the morning or late in the afternoon, or if we're wanting to go see Santa, we try to go as early as we possibly can. So we're either like the first in line, we just try to go as early as we possibly can to be the first in line. Other than that, we bring a lot of things, like we bring all of his favorite toys with him to kind of help distract him, and we can refocus him on different things if he does get overwhelmed or overstimulated. If it gets too noisy or too loud, we take him off to like a quiet area and we sit for maybe like 15, 20 minutes, however long it really takes for him to calm down completely. And then we'll try again. And then if it just keeps happening, we just go home. When he's ready, that's when we're ready.
What about sensory friendly toys? Because I feel like, especially for new families, maybe they have a new diagnosis and we know they're not all created equally. Do you have some ideas for that as well?
So I would say find what your kid likes. We are incredibly lucky. My son is very into letters and numbers. So we get him a lot of things, a lot of learning stuff, because that's what he enjoys doing. And it helps keep his mind focused on something completely opposite of what is happening around him. I would say things that kind of keep their brain focused on that, and then not all the sounds and lights and things happening around them.
Mm-hmm. And Caitlin, let's bring you into this conversation for a moment and just talk about somebody who might be going through rehab right now, through different types of therapy. The holidays can be hard for them as well. Maybe they're not feeling their best emotionally, especially. Do you have some suggestions that might help family members just really help them right now?
For sure. Here at TIRR, we offer physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, and occupational therapy does a great job at helping families with kids with sensory deficits. And Usually it's related to other diagnoses as well, but our OTs here on staff can do a wonderful job at explaining to families how they can help their little one out, whether it's needing extra hugs, needing extra input. Sometimes that's needed to make them feel comfortable and calm down.
What do you mean by
sometimes
that extra input?
Oh, I love it for myself. But not every kid needs that. It just depends on the kid. So maybe there's a kid that maybe doesn't like the tactile sensation of an extra hug. Maybe they like a swing, or maybe they like being in a stroller. Maybe the stroller and moving them around, they like that movement. So that makes them happy. And it's all about just finding the kiddos and what they like and how to incorporate that and getting out into the community and out into public.
That makes sense for sure. How are you seeing people right now this time of year? Are you seeing that because you see so many patients who are, going through challenging times in their lives, do you feel like for the most part people are handling it pretty well? Do the holidays seem like a pretty good distraction for them?
I do. And, children are resilient. And I feel like their parents are resilient. And I feel like this time of year brings them joy. It distracts them from maybe some medical challenges that they're going through. And that's kind of the purpose of starting this a couple of years ago. It's our 4th year. And one family in particular, I remember asking them, "Are you excited to go see Santa?" And she said, "Honestly, no." She said, "It's traumatic and it's scary, and my kid doesn't do well." And that kind of really hit home to me. And that made me want to do something for the community and get it started.
Oh, wow. And Ciera, when you hear that, I know that you probably know that feeling all too well, right? Which is the reason that you're involved in all of it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Caitlin has really made everything better for us in all senses of the way. I could not ask for a better person in my son's life. A better therapist.
Easton got to walk in his little walker to go see Mr. and Mrs. Claus, which is something that we've been working on. So that was wonderful to see him do that and get to walk right up to Santa.
Yeah, we when I remember last year when we were doing this, I asked Caitlin if she thought he would ever be able to walk, because he was not walking. He was kind of really stubborn and didn't even like to really get up on his feet. And so I asked Caitlin if she thought that if he would ever be able to walk. And she was like, yeah, he's going to be able to walk. I'm going to make him walk. And, she did.
I did. Yeah.
Incredible. What a beautiful feeling that you got to experience that and just see. I mean, that's Christmas magic right there, right?
Yes.
Oh, I love that. That is incredibly special. Well, ladies, I want to thank you so much for taking time to share this message. Do you already have it on the calendar for next year? Do we need to save the date?
Sometime in December, we'll have to talk to Santa and see when the best weekend is for him to come down and help us out. But I'm sure it'll be in December. We'll just have to figure out the right time.
Well, I hope you both have a very, very Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. And just enjoy every moment of the holidays. Thanks for making a difference in so many people's lives.
Thank you. All
right. Take care. You both.
Ho, ho, ho.
Merry Christmas.